Caitlin Clark just did something that no athlete has done since Michael Jordan.
Remember when Michael Jordan could slap his name on anything and it sold out before it even hit shelves? Well, welcome to the Caitlin Clark era, where a phenom just shook the basketball world so hard, WNBA veterans are sweating through their headbands. And no, it's not because of the heat. It's because Caitlin just pulled off a deal that echoes MJ himself.
Where he's like Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, probably eventually Caitlin Clark, where it's like individual people make an entire country tune into their sport.
1,000%.
Like hockey was never bigger than when Wayne Gretzky was playing it. And it was ridiculous how much it grew the sport.
Tiger Woods.
Caitlin Clark isn't just selling merch. She's moving culture. A groundbreaking partnership with a billion-dollar brand that's got the whole sports industry buzzing, and a few salty vets pretending they didn't just hear their own league get eclipsed. This isn't just a cool endorsement. This is the biggest basketball collab since a kid from North Carolina teamed up with a swoosh and rewrote sneaker history. And this time, it's being led by a woman. Clark, the queen of the court, and now the queen of commerce. Stick around, because at the end, we'll share Jordan's encouraging words and reveal the basketball stat that only his royal airness and Caitlin share. Are you ready? Let's go.
But she's incredible. Congratulations to her and her family.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is I'm just seeing her last year when they played LSU, but she's phenomenal.
Let's put this in perspective. Wilson, the official game ball provider for both the NBA and WNBA, just made Caitlin Clark the first female athlete since Michael Jordan to have her own signature basketball collection. You can hear Cheryl Swoops clenching her jaw from here. The irony? Swoops has been talking more about Clark than about her own career lately, and now Caitlin's name is getting stamped next to MJ's in the Marketing Hall of Fame. And these basketballs? They're not your regular rubber gym class gear. These are sleek, white and gold collector's items with laser-etched designs celebrating Clark's biggest career moments. There's the threes up ball, tipping the hat to her no-conscience range. The record breaker pays homage to her stat sheet domination. And the crowd maestro? That's a nod to her ability to make every single arena feel like a Beyoncé concert.
Making her the first athlete since Michael Jordan to get their own signature basketball from Wilson. She also becomes the first WNBA player to get her own signature basketball from Wilson.
But it gets better. Wilson couldn't even keep them in stock. Tens of thousands of these balls sold out in under 40 minutes. 40 minutes. That's less time than it takes A'ja Wilson to compose a cryptic tweet. This wasn't a soft launch. It was a cultural event, the kind of instant sellout frenzy you'd expect from an iPhone drop or a Travis Scott collab. And just when you thought it couldn't get bigger, Clark dropped another collection, this time partnering with none other than grocery chain giant Hy-Vee. You heard that right. Caitlin Clark is doing sneaker-level sellouts with a supermarket.
Calling all Caitlin Clark fans, 2 new limited edition basketballs are now available at select Hy-Vee stores. The designs are part of the Inspire series that Clark is doing in partnership with Wilson Sporting Goods. The tribute ball pays homage to Clark's time with the Iowa women's basketball team, and the Dreamer ball is designed to encourage athletes to pursue their dreams. Both are available in sizes 3 and 6 at select Hy-Vee locations.
Wilson's head of global brand, Amanda Lamb, spelled it out. Caitlin Clark is not just a record-setting athlete, but a cultural icon. Translation? She's not just another player, she's the player. And that's exactly why Wilson is putting their chips on her to lead their women's basketball brand into the future. This isn't just a one-off promo, it's a full-blown brand shift. And Caitlin's face is the new face of the game.
And when you take into stock the fact that outside of Kevin Durant, aging superstar, LeBron James, 40 years old, and Steph Curry, there's not a single NBA player more popular today than Caitlin Clark. That is a problem.
And now, the ripple effect is making waves through the league. This kind of power move redefines what's possible for female athletes. Clark's not just cashing checks. She's rewriting the endorsement playbook, which of course is causing some serious tension in locker rooms. Because while Caitlin's collecting deals, some of the league's loudest critics are left watching from the sidelines, arms crossed and endorsementless. Let's talk numbers, because the stats speak louder than any hater tweet. Caitlin Clark's WNBA games are averaging 1.18 million viewers. That's 3 times the league average. She's not just raising the bar, she's tossing it into orbit. Last year, one rookie is tripling the WNBA's audience, and guess what? She hasn't even hit her peak yet.
We knew Caitlin Clark was marketable, but she's been put over some pretty big names. In fact, some worldwide, huge, international names. 2 of them being Messi and Ronaldo.
Arenas, sold out, TV ratings, historic, social media clips, viral every week. People who didn't know the WNBA existed last year are now scheduling their lives around Fever games. Why? Because Caitlin Clark brings that electricity every time she steps on the floor. She's not just playing, she's putting on a show. A one-woman ratings machine, a walking economic stimulus package for women's basketball. She's pulling in fans who've never even watched a women's game before. Gen Z, she's their idol. Boomers, she reminds them of Larry Bird with a social media strategy. Middle America, they're all suddenly tuning into the Fever like it's the NFL. Everyone wants a piece of the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, except apparently for a few bitter vets who are still trying to figure out how this superstar stole their spotlight without even asking for it.
But for Caitlin Clark, on a worldwide marketability list for athletes, to be ahead of both Messi and Ronaldo is quite impressive. Steph Curry is behind her on the list.
So while players like Dejanay Carrington are busy subtweeting Clark and questioning her popularity, Caitlin is out here building a billion-dollar brand, locking arms with Wilson, and joining Michael Jordan in a club that's so exclusive it just became a 2-person list. Hate all you want, but the numbers don't lie. And this is just the beginning. You don't have to take my word for it. Just ask the legends. Mike Breen, the unmistakable voice of the NBA, dropped one of the highest compliments imaginable, casually placing Caitlin Clark's name in the same breath as basketball royalty. That's not a hot take. That's basketball canon.
She's doing rating-wise for the WNBA what Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Steph Curry have been doing for the NBA.
But this isn't just about what she's doing on the court. It's about what she's building off of it. Caitlin Clark is no longer just the best story in basketball. She's a marketing juggernaut. According to the industry pros, she's now the 4th most marketable athlete in the world. Not just the WNBA, not just women's basketball, the world. That puts her ahead of entire sports leagues, international stars, and yes, even a few salty veterans still stuck subtweeting from the sidelines. Let that sink in. She just leapfrogged entire marketing departments and became the face of the most explosive movement in women's sports. And with Clark in the spotlight, the WNBA is finally entering primetime, for real this time. Expect more sponsorships, more national TV slots, and a bigger seat at the table for women's basketball than ever before.
The idea of some players being jealous, yes, that probably exists. Okay. To me, yeah, jealous, sure. I mean, would you be jealous of somebody that got $28 million a shoe deal or whatever the deal is before you step foot in the pros?
But not everybody's celebrating. While Clark is smiling for the cameras and rewriting the business of basketball, some of the league's old guard is chewing on lemons. Because this isn't just a star with handles, it's a superstar with leverage, and that's got a few locker rooms feeling tense. Let's paint the picture. A first-year player rolls into the league, breaks 62 records, draws over 1 million viewers a game, and sells out venues like she's Taylor Swift in high tops. It should be a dream for the league. But instead, some of the WNBA's veterans have responded with elbows, eye rolls, and the occasional cryptic Instagram story.
And what a lot of people weren't willing or were a bit reluctant to appreciate was the game on this young white sister of ours. She can ball. And oh, by the way, she was a great ambassador for the game. And by the way, she came in there and looked out for everybody else. For 22 years, they couldn't get chartered flights. That sister got there, and it was done in 2 weeks. That's who Caitlin Clark is.
See, the WNBA has always prided itself on being tough, gritty, and unified. A place where players fought tooth and nail to grow a league that's long been overlooked. And then Caitlin Clark enters, flips the script, and suddenly the cameras, endorsements, and viewership all follow her. To some, it looks like she skipped the line. But what they're missing? She earned it. And the tension isn't just passive-aggressive tweets. It's showing up on the court. Some players have gone after Clark with a little extra heat, like they're trying to humble her by force. And make no mistake, it's personal. You don't go chest to chest with a player like that unless you've got a chip on your shoulder the size of a salary cap.
They try so long to get respect for women's basketball, and then they treat it like a junior high school girl's locker room. Junior high school girl antics on the court. Instead of playing the game, they gotta be drama because they're jealous. Instead of letting their skills speak for themselves, they gotta be drama because they're jealous.
So what's behind the bitterness? Simple. Clark has what many veterans never had. She's got the deals, the fame, the spotlight, and, most importantly, the cultural momentum. And some longtime players are asking, where was all this when we were coming up? It's a fair question, but it's also not Clark's fault. Even Charles Barkley couldn't stay silent. The man known for keeping it real went scorched earth on the hate, calling out the jealousy straight up.
These ladies, and I'm a WNBA fan, they cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried.
Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Clark is exposing the flaws the league's been papering over for years. The pay gap, the lack of marketing, the failure to connect with fans beyond the core base. Clark didn't create these problems, but she sure is highlighting them by showing what's possible when someone actually moves the needle. Consider this. Clark's salary is $76,500. Yep, $76,000. Meanwhile, she's projected to pull in over $11 million the past year, all from endorsements. That's not just a paycheck. That's a spotlight so bright it makes the league's salary structure look like a glitch in the Matrix.
So she spoke out against that. She got people paid. She got better travel arrangements. She increased the ratings and the revenue, which obviously the WNBA benefited exponentially because now you got a $200 million deal. All of these things being considered, you damn right. It is appropriate that she got Athlete of the Year. She is special, and she's coming.
And yes, that money is changing the conversation. Suddenly, the idea of a multi-million-dollar WNBA player isn't a fantasy, it's a headline. But if this new wave is going to lift all boats, the league needs to ride the wave, not resist it. Because here's the bottom line. We're at a turning point. Clark isn't just a basketball star, she's a movement. She's forcing the league to evolve, to pay attention, to dream bigger. But if veterans don't shift their mindset from why her to what's possible now, they'll be left behind while the game passes them by.
Now, what little girl wants to grow up and play in a league where you're targeted like that? How do you sit here and profess and demand that everyone take women's sports seriously when you can't even take it seriously enough to not act like a junior high queen on the court? It's stupid. That's so dumb. It looks like a soap opera.
And just when it seemed like the Clark craze had peaked, one voice stepped forward to make everything very real. A voice we haven't heard from in this conversation. Until now. A voice that turned the entire basketball world on its head. Michael Jordan. And what he had to say about Caitlin Clark? Oh, that changed everything.
What if I told you a WNBA rookie was out here doing what no one thought was possible and outshining the great Michael Jordan's legacy? How would you react? Caitlin Clark is the girl flipping the script. Her rookie numbers are ridiculous. Fans, analysts, and even Michael Jordan's stands are shook.
Let's talk about that moment. Michael Jordan, the undisputed GOAT, the man whose shoes basically fund entire economies, publicly gave Caitlin Clark the ultimate seal of approval. And no, it wasn't a casual compliment. He didn't just nod and keep it moving. Jordan gushed about how amazing it is to see kids dribbling with Clark's signature basketball, the same way generations mimicked him with his own. That's not flattery, that's a torch-passing moment, from the jump man to the queen of the three. And just when you thought MJ was done, he dropped the hammer. He said the WNBA owes Clark for everything she's doing for the game. Let that one marinate. When Michael Jordan tells a league they need to start giving someone her flowers, you don't argue, you listen. Because no one understands what it means to revolutionize a sport better than the man who made basketball a global obsession.
You know well enough that in 1984, when Michael Jordan came into the NBA, the ratings in the NBA were not great. Chicago Stadium was, a third full.
This moment matters a lot. Because when the most iconic figure in men's basketball throws his full weight behind a WNBA phenom, it shatters the old idea that women's hoops is just the other league. What Jordan did with that statement was bridge the gap. He didn't say, Caitlin's great for women's basketball. He said she's great for basketball, period. That distinction? Game-changing. But if your jaw wasn't already on the floor, let's throw in a stat that might snap your ankles. Caitlin Clark and Michael Jordan are now the only two rookies in NBA or WNBA history to average at least 18 points, 8.5 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 block, and 2 steals per game in the playoffs. That's not just impressive, that's historic. She's not following in Jordan's footsteps. She's literally walking beside him, step for step, stat for stat. With Jordan's endorsement echoing across the basketball world and the stats to back up her dominance, one thing is now crystal clear. This isn't just the rise of a new WNBA star. It's the emergence of a transcendent figure who's changing the way we think about athletes, endorsements, and what's possible for women in sports.
He's getting the lion's share of the attention. The games are now getting all of his games are on TV. And he just was a polarizing figure. And Tiger Woods was like that when he went to the PGA as well. He changed the total economics of golf the same way Michael Jordan changed the financial economics of the NBA.
Clark's influence is already rewriting the rules. She's not just the centerpiece of her team. She's the nucleus of a marketing revolution. Brands aren't just betting on her, they're reorganizing their entire playbook around her. And unlike so many before her, Clark's era is starting now, not in 5 years. She's not waiting, she's building her empire in real time. This is more than a hot streak. It's a full-blown movement. And as Caitlin Clark continues to torch nets, fill arenas, and rake in global deals, the question isn't, can she sustain this? The question is, how high is she going to take this league with her? Because here's the truth. We're not watching a star being born. We're watching a phenomenon in motion, and it's only gaining speed. And the best part? Caitlin Clark isn't done yet. She's only just starting to cook. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.